Okay, guys, welcome back. It's been 3 days. We haven't streamed, so I haven't streamed for 3 days right now. And yeah, just getting back to it again. We had a couple of stuff going on within those days, so that kept me busy. And yeah, I promised I will be streaming the next day after the last stream, which I didn't do. So sorry for that. So I've been trying to see if there's a way I can actually change off so I can have some space to actually stream on regular basis. Because when I started off, that's what we have been doing, but all of a sudden kind of stopped in between. Yeah, but I've been trying to get into that more often. Yeah, so bear with me if I kind of like streams and stop streaming for some days. Yeah, but trying to get into regular streaming. Yeah, like I said, welcome back to the same project we have been working on. We have been working with React Native recently, and yeah, that's a whole lot of stuff we've been doing on React Native based on this app we have been. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe. And if this is your first time joining me live and watching me live on the YouTube channel, please do subscribe and let's get the subscription counts up. And yeah, I think that's it, guys. What else are we missing? Trying to see if just notice that my audio is not actually good. I'm not using my main audio, so I can actually hear that. So let me just fix in my main audio here.
All right, take care.
Let's see. Okay, I think we are. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just that's just the intro and the short brief of what has been happening so far, and we just get straight to the project and try to finish up the remaining path and where we left off the last time. And if you have been following along, we kind of like stopped at a part where we are trying to integrate Stripe. So we are trying to add Stripe to the payment as one of the payment system in our app, and you can actually see that on my previous video here. Yeah, I can actually check out the previous video which I called Stripe payment. And yeah, at this point I think we left off trying to add Stripe to the app. Yeah, you can actually see that showing up here. So that's what we're trying to finish up today, and hopefully we get working before moving to any part of the app. So let's do that. So if you tap over here at the checkout, so you tap the checkout, and it take you straight to the order confirmation page. And if you actually try to go to pay right now, and you see these alerts showing up telling us that and we have to do some stuff. Add the name, location, time, select payment method. So you click OK. Let's add this. So over here I'm gonna add a name, call that Kevin. So add a location, just try this. So it's gonna like so because if you are thinking of about how we are getting the location, I'm using Google autocomplete. Yeah, React Native Google autocomplete. Yeah, so that's what I'm using over here. And for the phone number, just add any random numbers. Guys, this is not my real number, so don't call it. So the delivery time, you just tap over here and you pick a time, and there you go. And card note, if let's say you want to add a card note, you can just do that, but not just add a random stuff. Close that, and there we go. And if you take a look, you can actually see we're having an issue. You see the numbers are not actually rounded up. The total numbers are not rounded up. So let's fix that. So to fix that issue, so here we now checkout. What I need to do is to head down to where we have these numbers hard coded, so I can see that. So there we go. So I'm gonna add a utility. What did I do? So I'm going to add a utility function here that we created previously, and it's called round, passing a number, the price, and okay, it's called round price, yeah, and then passing a precision. So the precision is going to be 2. Okay, we used to need to use round. It's not round price. So what we're supposed to use was round. That should be right over here. So then move the price at the end, so that becomes round. So the precision, basically the decimal place that we want. I can actually see this. This has already been fixed. Now we have 2 decimal places. Instead of the whole numbers at the back, that's up to, I don't know, at least 10 or something like that, decimal places. But yeah, we can actually make this to be 3 decimal places. If you save that, you can actually see, so we have, okay, so let's keep it at 2. Looks like we need to actually do some changes to our round function to add other decimal places to it, but right now we already have 2 decimal places, which is what is needed. So let's do the same for here. I'm still going to copy the same function that we added here, everything, because that's basically what we actually need to do here. So I'm going to replace that with it, and if you save this, I see this is already rounded too. So I'm going to need to select the payment type, and over here I'm going to select card payment. If you tap on pay right now, say error, failed, no payment sheet has been initiated yet. So let's try and fix that issue. So let's see where the error is coming from. So say open payment sheet, okay. Okay, can see the reason why it's kind of giving us that error. It's already getting passing a publishable key to it, and we're actually initiating our Stripe payment provider right here. So we should actually show up. So let's try this again. Okay, let's fix this. Okay, I see. I think I remember where the issue is coming from. So let's get this fixed. So one of the issues that we're having right now is because on our back end, we need to pass a body params to it. That's the issue. That's why this is not being initiated. So we need to do that whenever the user calls this function. It needs payment sheets. We need to fetch the payment details and pass in the body to it. So I can actually show our back end here from Glitch. So basically I'm trying to log into my Glitch account. So there we go. I need to head over to the backend that we are currently using, so which is obtainable Pi liquid, which I said is actually open and available to you guys if you want to follow the backend and use it on your own project. So you can actually do that. Yeah, click on the server. Right here down below, so where we created an API using Node.js. So in our Node.js backend, which is basically this. So there's an API that we are calling app payment sheet, and this payment sheet API is actually requesting a body to be passed to it, and you can actually see that. So what we need to pass to the body is something called some parameter called currency, customer ID, and amount. And also we need to do that. If we pass that, that will actually create a customer if we have already created a customer, and then to create an ephemeral key and then pass that into payment intent to create a payment intent, and also with the amount that we want the user to pay, and the currency and the customer ID. And also I want to actually to make it clear to you guys, if you're trying to use this in production, it's not actually advisable to do the payments, to do the amount on the client side. So you don't calculate the amount on the client side. Try to calculate the amount on the back end. So basically you can just get from the back end, get hold of the products that the user is trying to buy, and do the amount calculation right here. The reason why I'm saying that is because in some cases people will try to manipulate the amounts on the front end, and if they are manipulated on the front end, so they might actually have a product that's worth of 1,000 and they manipulate the amount on the front end and then try to hard code the amounts. Maybe say someone gets hold of your source code from jailbreaking your Android phone or something like that. They can manipulate the source code since the amount is being hard coded at the client's end. Let's say, like I said, 1,000 worth of goods, they can just input $20 right there, or even say at some point not add any payment there, and that will be at your own loss. So that's the reason I was actually recommending this, to do that at the back end. But for this yeah, we're going to be doing the amount at the front end. So let's go ahead and do this. So over here, I'm going to have a body. So you're going to say the body JSON.stringify, and inside the body, remember the parameters that we need to have: the currency, make sure it's still spelled the same currency. Then have customer ID also. So that should be called customer ID. And we can actually get the customer ID from our user data. So let's get a hold of that. So we should actually have our user data from record over here. So since we don't have it, so let's get hold of that. So over here, I'm going to say constant user model is equals to use record, because we are using record for our state management. So inside the record, I'm going to pass in the state that we want to use is basically called so this is the states, and the state is called user model states. Yeah, this should be it. So remember that, just copy that over, head back to our home screen. Now home screen, that should be checkout, and use that right in here. Then just import this, and now I can use, say over here, to pass in the user ID, I will say user model dot stripe ID. Okay, so that's an issue. So we are not having a stripe ID showing up here, but I'm pretty sure we should have that in our back end. So our graph query, let's check this out. User model. Okay, so let's import our graph query data right here. So I'm gonna import this. So I kind of like run a code. So the reason why I moved this out, because I had a sensitive information on the code I'm trying to run. So I moved it out. So this will fetch our latest graph query data from our upstream. So that's what we're doing right here. Once that is done, yeah, cool. There we go. So you actually see the user data, and now we're having a stripe ID added to it. So I will say over here, so let's go to the checkout. Now we can use that dot stripe ID. Nice. And then the last over here should be the amount. So I'm going to say amount. So amount should be round price multiplied by 100, because you have to multiply the amount by 100 to be actually used in your Stripe. If you don't multiply that by 100, let's say the user the price that we have here right now is 1850, like 18.57. If you actually send this to Stripe, so what Stripe will actually kind of like charge your user will be 1. So instead of charging the user 1857, Stripe will charge your user I think $1, which doesn't make sense. So in Stripe it will actually look like this. So this will be 1.857, I think, something like that. So we should round up to 1. So we need to multiply that by 100 to be sure that Stripe will charge the user 18.57. Yeah. So after that, go ahead and save this. Let's see if there's something else we need to do. I don't think so. So let's try again. So open our backend, and you can actually see our backend is passing it USD, and this is undefined, and you can see the payments right here showing up. And I'm gonna say if Stripe ID is empty, pass an empty string. And let's see that again. So we have USD and Stripe ID is empty. Okay, cool, nice one. And let's try this. So let's try opening this up again. User Kevin, location Dubai, phone 971. Just a random number, pick a date, pick a time that you want it to be delivered. Add a note if you want. If not, go and select the debit card, tap on pay. We're getting an error code failed, no payment sheet has been initialized yet. Okay, okay. Since we're having an issue right here, for now, let's comment this out. Something else. Code the price right here just to fix up stuff, and we are going to come back to this later on. So we are having an issue for Stripe right now. Take a look at our Stripe dashboard. Okay, so we got this working. Try the payment again, and there you go. You can actually see the payment field showing up. You can see we had coded 18, so that's 180.00. So showing up here that we want the user to pay 180 dirham, but that's actually not what we have here. So still need to be able to fix this to pass in our data to the user. So right now we can actually try payment option. So one stuff we could actually try, let's try a payment, and we're going to use a fake credit card for this. We're not going to use a real credit card, and a fake credit card is going to come from Stripe itself. So there we go. So we are going to use a fake credit card, and in here just copy this, and paste it in, pass that here, and then pass in any expiring date number, so 26, and then CVC, any stuff, country, select a country, so United States, and pass a zip. Okay, that's it. And try pay. It tells the payment is processing, and once that is done, you can actually see that. See, your order is confirmed, success. Yeah, there we go. And if you take a look at our back end, Stripe back end, which I'm going to show you guys right now. What just happened? Let me get that up. So if you head over to the payments, you can see there the same payment we made was this 180.00 USD, and the payment was successful. Let's see the customer details that we passed in. Okay. Yeah, so there's it about the payment that we made. Next stuff we could actually do is to be able to pass in some customer details over here when we created a customer. Okay, right here. So let's say we want to create a new customer. You can actually create a new customer by passing some params to it. Passing some params like email and something like that. So I think I did that somewhere here previously. Yeah, so there we go. So I can actually create a customer by passing some params to it. Let's say you don't have a previous customer registered in your that's been registered on your Stripe. So we get hold of that, and in here I'm gonna pass it in. But right now we are not passing the customer details to create a customer with these params here, but you can actually hard code them for now. So let's say we hard code most of these that we have right here. Now we could say the name to be John, and then you can actually say email to be john@john.com, and then the description will still be John. I go ahead and save that. So let's try this. I think right now this customer already has an ID related to it. So let's try the payment method again. So let's try let's see on this. Okay, we're having payment sheet not initialized. Let's say okay. So start this, and then go to payments, and this shows up. Then in here you just say card payment. Use the test card we received. You just still copy that. And the month, we need to select that. Today. I can also see your order is being confirmed. Okay, and you can actually still check that on our own Stripe accounts. So let's see that again. So there we go. You can actually see the recent one. We just made that now. You can see the name, john@john.com. So now we can actually see the user details showing up. So you can actually see the customer email is john@john.com. Cardholder name is John, and then our customer name and email similar. So we didn't hard code this part, but what I'm trying to show you guys to see the description and all the stuff we added for the customer is showing up here. And if you go to the customer tab, and you can see the list of customers that we have, you select this customer. Now you can see more about the customer right here. Let's see. Yeah, so you can actually see that here. Customer account details, email, name, and the description, customer description is still John. So yeah, I think that's it. Now the next stuff we need to do right now is to actually style up our payment sheet. So we need to style that. So we still need to create a new payment. So if you take a look, see that this is looking off. It doesn't actually look like what we want it to look like. So I will go ahead and fix this. But before I do that, I still need to run a code to put some data from the crowd. So I'm going to remove this out of here for now. Yeah, guys. Also, if you're gonna have a question, you can just message me on the YouTube channel. Just drop your message on the chat section. I'm going to reply that while I'm trying to run a code right here. Sorry for not showing you guys what is going on, but I need to keep the so basically I'm running some code with AWS Cloud API key, so I just need to keep it secret. So that's what is just going on here. Yeah, guys, if you have a question, just drop the question on the chat section. I'll just take a look at it. Let me just upload this, just run this code. Origin. Okay, so let's bring this back. So like I said, the next stuff will be to actually start up our Stripe payment details, basically the Stripe payment bottom sheet. So let's do the styling. And you can actually get know more about that. So let me add that here. So let's say if you guys want to do this styling by yourself, the link to it's here. So let's copy this. So if you head over to Stripe API documentation right here, so you can see element appearance API, so you can do the whole styling, know more about how to style the properties of Stripe, knowing more on what all this stuff means, icon colors. If you want to change it, then you have to apply an icon color inside this box here, inside this JSON object, JavaScript object. So whatever color you want to change, or pick the name and add the colors that you want in here. So we're going to see that. So I'm going to copy some stuff over, which I've done for our own code. So I'm going to copy it over. So over here, I'm going to paste this somewhere here below. Inside our checkout, that will be somewhere below here. So I'm gonna, you have to add this in here. Yeah, inside init payment sheet. So there's a property called appearance, and appearance is requested for JavaScript object. So you pass the object right here, and if you go ahead and save this right now, so let's go back and see the changes that we made here. So leave it this way and head back to the checkout, tap on this and do most of this random stuff just to get this working. Phone number, pick a date, pick a time, not a date, and then credit card and debit cards, and just pay. I can see that showing now. That looks fine. You can see our whole payment sheet has been styled up using our own custom styling on our own side. So if you take a look over here, you can see the fonts family that we're trying to use is Inter, because we are using this everywhere in our app. And the shape, basically the shape we apply to the shape of this button right here. And we say border radius should be 12, border width should be 5.5. So basically also this border is showing up here. And then primary button shape should be border radius. You can actually see that border radius 20 showing up here. And this border radius of 12 applies to the card itself, the card input fields. Border radius of 12 applies to them. And you have the colors. The primary colors should be app main color. That's why you're having this taking our brand color, and the button also, and also the shake icon here is also taking our colors. And what else do we need to do? So yeah, and the background color, which is we are passing to be fully white color, is the background color of this sheet showing up is all in white. And then component background color, you can see the color is different, and that's color we're applying to the payment cards. And you have component divider color, which is purely black color. I can see the divider is black in colors. And the primary text, all those stuff. Then you have the placeholder text, is kind of a grayish color, and you can see that showing up in gray kind of color. So yeah, that's it. And the next stuff we need to do is be able to, whenever the user completes a payment, we actually need to take them to, let's say we need to take them to their home page, something like that. So that that's what we have to do right now. And yeah, one more thing before we proceed to the to the next stuff I just said right now that we're going to do. I'm going to add something like over here, so building details. So there's two ways to actually do this. Right here, if you could remember, I said initially when we are trying to create a payment intent, we are passing a customer ID. If there is none, if there's already a customer ID, we pass it. But if there's none, if there's no existence of customer ID, our backend will detect that by doing this check over here. You can see this if statement we have here. The if statement is basically trying to check if we already have a customer ID or not. If there's no customer ID, go ahead and create a new customer ID with these details showing up here, and you can see we are passing the email and the name of the user. Again, what you can actually do right here is to do something like hard code a billing details that will also be used for the customer. So it's a default billing details, and I'm going to copy the details over. So over here we're passing the user email, which we are getting from our user model, the username, which we are getting from our user model, and the address, which is AE, basically the current country the business will exist, or the current country which the product or the app will actually function in. That's in UAE, because I'm based in UAE, so I'm using AE, telling Stripe that I want the payment, the address details to be AE, and also over here we can see currency shouldn't be USD, currency should be AED, so that's a mistake. So we should be telling Stripe that we want the currency to be in AED and not in USD, because our customers will always be in UAE at the moment, since we are just focusing on the UAE market. Yeah, like I said, country AE, and yeah, currency AED. So that's the changes I just want to add there. So you guys, I just want to add there and explain some stuff to you guys. Yeah, I think that's it. Another stuff. So let's save this and show you guys something. So that's something called return URL. So return URL is used in a situation whereby you want when you want the user to actually authenticate their details, you want to pass in a return URL to the, let's say they submitted a credit card that Stripe needs to authenticate. So you need to pass in a return URL whereby after the authentication, they will kind of Stripe will return, we call that return URL, and that will be able to return the user back to your app. So I'll show you guys how to use that. Let me copy some stuff about it. So I'm going to remove this return URL, and I'm going to use the one from my app. We need to import this also. Appearance already added that, and merchant name, just have that. Okay, next. So merchant name in our case here is Flowery App. So there we go. And return URL, the base URL, we need to get that from our .env environment, our environment variables. So where is that again? Because I could remember that we added a .env. Yeah, so I see. So we need to add that somewhere here. Paste that in here. Okay, says emoji has no exported number, base URL. So I will go over to the type definition of this module. Below here, I'm going to say export base URL, and now I'm probably sure that will actually work right now. So go over to the checkout, and it's been recognized. The base URL is being recognized. We are using that base URL right here. So if we go ahead and save this, close this, and open this up again, and I want to actually add a payment that will actually be that we need authentication. So you see the card payment requires authentication to test that out. So I'm going to copy this kind of card that will require an authentication. So if you go ahead and paste that in here, the month, and have the year 23, the CVV, just any random number, United Arab Emirates. Okay, just select that. What else do we need to select? Okay, I don't think so. So we just hit the pay. I see processing, and I take us to a place to confirm this, because just because we are testing right now, it won't show us the bank consent form. So if you're using a real card, instead of taking you to this page, a real user will not see this. A real user will see a bank own kind of your own bank will kind of show you a consent page where they will send you an OTP code, and you add the OTP code there to authenticate your card. And for the testing, we are going to say complete authentication. Tap on that, and once authentication is done, completed, so it will be able to take us back to our app. So the user needs to tap on this to go back to the app, or close this to go back to the app. But you can actually manually do this. Open this in a browser. Then if you tap on this after authentication, this will take you back to the app. Then you close this, and here we are in the app. See, the payment has already succeeded. Your order is confirmed. Okay, so that's it for a card that needs authentication and all those stuff. What else are we missing? So we added custom Stripe payments method, which is this. I think that's it for this part. So the next stuff we want to do, like I said, we want the user to be taken to a order success page. If you take a look at our design, what we have been doing so far, when the user is actually, the order is actually when the order succeeds, we need to take the user to this page called your order is on the way. Basically, I call it order success page right there. So let's do that. So head over here, inside our payments, init payment method. So yeah, if you remember, we have this init payment method. I'm going to remove these parts out. We don't need those. Over here, so I'm saying if the user selects a payment method to be cash, so basically the user wants to pay with a cash payment, we don't tell them to open a payment sheet. We just navigate them to payment order success page. And if the user wants to pay with a card, we open a payment sheet for them to actually input their payment details. Next, if everything is successful, if the order is successful, we don't need to show them any alerts. We just basically navigate them to the payment order success page. So let's try that. So if you open this, and head back to here, and we're going to use this card for testing. Copy that, add that right here, and the month, year, and CVV, which is 3 digits, and head over and say pay AED. So tap on that, and there we go. You can see the user is actually being taken to the order success page, and the user could say your order is on the way, thank you for your order, estimated delivery time is 30 minutes, track your order or return to home. In this case, I want when the user taps on this track your order, we want to take them to this page, this orders page. So let's fix this. So over here, so let's go to the order success page. So here is our order success page. What is it? Should be somewhere. Yeah, there we go. Order success page. So we need to do some hard coding right here, guys. Also please, like I said, drop your question on the chat. I'm always looking at the chat, so drop your questions, or if you want to talk on the chat, just talk over there. Looking at the chat also. And let me see what we have. Okay, so over here we are in the order sources page. At the order sources page, let's say when the user taps on this track my orders, where's the button again? Okay, navigate to my orders, and if they tap on return home, take the user to the home screen. Let's work on this. So right now, if I'm the user, if I tap over here, track my orders, and I'm being taken to the order my orders page, which is basically looking like this, exactly like what we have here. But the issue with this is is that this order here is actually hard coded, not a real order. So it's an actual hard coded orders, but we need to fix this. How do we actually make sure that we are getting a real order when the user kind of like makes or completes a payment? To fix that issue, so this should actually go back, but for some reason it's not going back. So let's fix that one. We have the notice, that should be orders. So I head back to, I think that should be called my orders, if I'm right. No, not my orders. So what's it called? What did I actually call it? No, not this. All orders. My order. So I have an order success page. I'm actually trying to figure out what I call this page again. Not a shift. That is not called shift orders. Okay, so let's figure this out. Which of the screens that we actually used here, that should be showing us this screen that we have here. For some reason we couldn't actually figure it out. What's it called? My orders. So if I head back to app.txt, so I have one called track orders, and I have one called order success page, and I have another one called my orders, which we are navigating to. And if you go to source definition, and there we go. So my orders showing up right now. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I see that. Yeah. So over here, so if I go over to all others, because this first one right here is basically all others. So I'm kind of like that escaped my mind for some reasons. At the top we have this button, my orders, and that can only be changed at this point here, because we're adding a back button. Yeah, remember. So the back button on press should actually take us back. So I'm going to call navigation utility right in here. So I'm going to say constant navigation yeah, there we go. So navigation equals to use navigation and in here. So to get back to the previous screen, what we have to do is navigation dot go back, and that's all. So okay, okay. So we're using the use navigation right here, but the issue is because says couldn't find a navigation object. Is a component inside a navigation container. Think that's because we are having this in here inside our stack navigator. We are doing that and not inside a container, not inside a component that is actually inside the navigation container. I think that's because we are having, that's the reason why we're having this issue. I can actually try to restart this again. Yeah, I think so. I guess yeah, that's the reason. You can actually see nothing's going on again. So we need to be able to find another way to fix this. So let's add a header back button. So I'm trying to figure out how we could actually do that, since we can't do it the other way around. So let's say that should be enabled, and if that is enabled, so we can just remove this. Okay, there we go. So I get over here and I'll try to use the checkout. remember we just pass in this test card number, passing in there, then pass some test status, that's all, and then pay. So we are just trying to get over to the order page again. So tap on this, track my orders, and then we are taken to this place, and now we can actually see the back button showing up. So if I go ahead and tap on this, then it takes us back. So tap on this again, it takes you to the other screen. So that's cool. Let's do some changes right here on the other screen. Other success page. So what we want to do is that once the user gets to that other success page, which is this page, we want to create an order item. So basically get hold of the all the orders the user selected, all the whole orders that user selected, use that to create an order model for each of those items that the user selected. I'm going to show you guys what that should look like in our back end. So over here, I'm gonna say what's this? So cart item. So this has actually been updated, whereby we are not expecting it to be updated. Yeah, that's not what we're expecting. Well, let's go back to what we're doing. So basically right here we have this order item model. So like I say, this is what our order should look like. So whenever a user makes a payment, and whenever the payment is successful, we want to be able to create an order item that we can use to track those orders that the user created. And then we can then let's say we have a distributor, or because the app is actually a multi-vendor app. It's going to have another page whereby if you're a vendor, you can actually log in to add your product to the app, and then people can buy it from other part of the app. So yeah, let's say in that case we need to create an order model whereby the user itself can see the order model. The vendor of that particular orders can kind of like see the list of orders people made for his or her products. And again, what else? Yeah, also the admin, who is in charge of the whole platform, can be able to, let's say I want to see the list of orders people are making so far through the app. I can be able to see the orders. So that's why we are creating this order model. And the order model, you have an ID which is auto generated. I'll have a buyer ID. So the buyer ID is basically the current user who is trying to buy an item, which is this case is me. And the owner ID, so the owner ID is basically the vendor or the shop that's listing these products on the app. And I have the user model ID. So this is basically linking to the user model that we created over here. And then I have the product ID, basically which of the product that this user made an order on, and that is gotten from product ID. And then quantity that this user is ordering, so how many of this particular item that this user ordered. So that's where this quantity came in. And we have the status, like we over here can actually see in our design. On our design we have status for so where is it? On the design we have status for processing and shipped. So that's where am I again? Yeah, so that's where why we are using these status items. And then we can have other dates, the dates which this order was created. But the funny thing is that even if you don't add these other dates, AWS itself will actually add this for us here. But it's not called other dates. In AWS it's called created at and modified at. So let's say if you want to know the time when a user created an item in your app or something like that, and in your in your data, so you always have a created at and modified timestamp, so you can use that in place of creating a new order date in that case. But in this case, we just decided to create an order date, but we can decide to use the created at. So I think we might decide to remove this, yeah, and use the created at. And again, we have the receiver name. So the receiver name is basically who is receiving this order. So who is this order going to? Yeah. And the address. So yeah, basically which location is this order being, should we deliver this order to? Let's say the user is living in Dubai or any other Emirates or somewhere else. So we allow the user to put their location here so that we can be able to send a dispatch, a deliveries personnel to actually deliver this product to the person. And then we have the phone number. This is because we need we need to contact the user when we are delivering the order to make sure that we are at the right location, or we are actually giving the product to the right person or something like that. And time at home, so we are allowing this time at home is basically allowing the user to tell us the time they will be at home. And we have the card note. Let's say the user wants to add a note to the card, to the gift, so that's why we are having the card note. The payment type, you guys already know, so the payment type can only either be card or cash. So if the user use card, then the vendor will know that, okay, this user already paid cash, no, has already paid through the card. But if the user use cash, the vendor will know, okay, we need to collect a cash from this person. They should be able to collect a cash from this person. So you have the total price, also the same thing. For the total price, what we are doing is basically the total price of the order that the user made. And next one, we are having the email. Yeah, sorry guys. So the next one, we're having the image URL. So basically, the image of the order that has been made, the item, the product name, the item name. So yeah, that's it about the order model. So yeah, so basically kind of like makes sense to actually have a model for each of the data that is going through your app, so that way it's kind of easy to track and be easy to call and use. Let's say instead of using this, and we decided to use arrays of JSON. So yeah, arrays of JSON, we actually work here, but for me it kind of like doesn't look that clean, and actually does it doesn't kind of like look like what we need to do. We kind of like need to create this as an object, like in this case a data model, and link it to any of the user that is currently using our app, because that's what we are doing here. So we are linking this order item to any user that is using our app. So in this case, the user that has this user model will be able to have, can actually see that here, a shopping cart. So we are linking a shopping cart to that user. We are linking all orders items to that user too. So that's basically what we are doing right here. Let's go back and kind of continue what we're doing. I'm going to move this off the screen. Okay, so basically right in here, like I said, if the user allows, they want to get hold of all the items and convert them to orders, and that will actually require us to use some for loop and await. And actually this took me some time to grasp, kind of like the idea of using await in for loop in JavaScript. I haven't used that before, but I kind of like use that in this project, and it's actually interesting to work around on, because I was actually trying to implement that previously. It took me like some hours to actually be able to understand how to do that and how to implement it, which I'm going to show you guys right here. So over here, I'm going to create another one. So I'm going to say a use effect, create a use effect right here. And pass in a callback function which every use effect is requesting, and then we'll add a wash or a dependency. In this case, we are passing an empty array because we don't want our use effect to be called twice. We only want this to be called once during the lifetime of this screen or something like that. Yeah, so that's why we're adding this empty array to it. In there, we want to create a method. I'm going to create a method, right? And I'm going to call that method handle order processing. Handle order processing. So handle order processing, that's the name of this function. And in there, handle order processing is actually going to be an array, a for loop. So a for loop, and inside a for loop we get hold of index, all those stuff. And I'm going to call this function inside our use effect. Like I said, this use effect will be called once in the lifetime of our app, so that's why I'm using the use effect right there. Now we need to actually loop through the whole orders to be able to create a new order items, like I showed you guys on the back end how that looks. So let's try and do that. So over here, before we do this, I'm going to create some function. Some function. I'm going to say yeah, constant get hold of an item called cart items. So we call cart items. So do we need to get the code of cart items here, or we could just get okay, so that should be in here. Before the for loop, I'm going to say constant cart items. Yeah, cart items is going to be equals to data store, our data store dot query. Make a query to get hold of all the cart items that we have. Cart item model. But in this case, we don't want to return the whole cart items. Just take for instance, let's say in your database you have 200 or tens of thousands of cart items from users. You don't want to query all those cart items. So one way to bypass that is to actually say over here, pass a predicate. The predicate, we're going to say, I'm going to modify this. I'm going to say where get cart items. So I'm going to show you guys what we're supposed to do here. So here's our back end, right? So here's our back end, and each of our carts model has what we call user model ID. So it has a something called user model ID, and also a product ID or quantity ID. So we want to get hold of this user model ID. So make use of that user model ID. I'm going to say where is equal to constant user model, which is equals to use required value. So we want to get our user model. It's coming from user model states. Yeah, user model state. I'm gonna say user model state dot id, not user model state. User model dot id. So once we get hold of those cart items that matches to that predicate, what we need to do is to use our cart items and loop through it inside our for loop right here. Cart items, which is an array. So we have to make this an asynchronous function, and we need to await on this. So now it's no longer a promise, but basically an array of cart items. So I'm going to pass that in here. Then inside the for loop, I'm going to go through the whole for loop, the whole items, and say await data store. But we're not going to delete it first, so we need to actually be able to save this. I'm going to say data store.save. So what do we want to save? In this case, I want to save a new model. So I'm going to say new order item model. Okay, are we making a mistake? So, move this out. I think I just need to copy this, copy the code over. So repeating this from the beginning. Yeah, so let's do this. Yeah, copy this, replace whatever we have here, paste it. So I'm going to explain what I did here. In here we have a handle order processing that's being called whenever the user makes a payment for each of their shopping cart items. And in there I'm calling I'm looking through the cart item of that user. So I'm looking through the whole items they added inside that shopping cart that they actually paid for. I'm looking through it. I got it. I'm looking through it through with a for loop. I'm using a for loop to look through those cart items, and I'm creating an order model inside our database for each of those cart items. That's what we're doing here. So data store.save order item model, and in here we're passing a user model. So this should be user model and not user model state. There we go. Yeah, user model ID, and then buyer ID, the buyer ID. So basically who is buying it, which is current user, which is me at this moment. And then we have the quantity, so quantity of the items, and we have the ID of that particular item. What else are we missing? The owner ID. So the owner ID is basically the person that actually, the shop that actually listed this product on our app, on our shopping app. So yeah, that's it. And the other date is basically the current dates at that moment that this items have been created. So this remaining ones here, I just made it a to-do list that we are going to complete this later on. But right now let's try this. So, and again, the funny thing, I want you guys to actually take notes here that we are doing. So we are creating the order. So whenever we create the order, we also delete that particular cart item. So that's actually interesting. So whenever we create an order for that particular, for any item in the cart item of the user, we go down here and delete that cart item from the user's cart item. So what this is actually doing, what this actually will do in a real world, let's say you are on Amazon. Let's say you are using Amazon, for instance. So Amazon website. So I say Amazon. I know a lot of you always buy stuff from Amazon, and also I'm doing a free ad for Amazon too. So let's say you go to Amazon carts. In this case, I don't have any carts. Looks like my cart is empty. And do I need to sign in? I think I've forgotten my details, password. Okay, I think it's there. Okay, interesting. No, skip. Yeah. Let's say I want to buy this what's it called, this beautiful mechanical keyboard, which I don't have money to buy right now. So let's say I want to buy this, and you tap on proceed to checkout, right? So if you proceed to checkout, you can actually see almost the same, identical to our shopping cart that we created, where we have the subtotals that's calculating the whole items in this cart. So if you make this to be 2 items, see, it will refresh the page and then calculate this for you. And let's say you go ahead and go to proceed to checkout, click on that, and right now So it takes us to this point, but in this case I don't have money, guys, to buy this. I'm not buying it. So if it takes you to this way, let's say you made the whole payment and purchase and whatever, and if you go back, you won't be able to see these items in your shopping cart anymore. Your shopping cart should be empty after buying stuff from Amazon. It doesn't make sense to buy stuff from Amazon and come back, or buy stuff from any website and come back to your shopping cart and still see the same items in your shopping cart. So that doesn't make any sense. So that's what we are doing here. So while we are creating the order for each of the shopping cart item at that particular time, we are also deleting each of those items inside the shopping cart from our data store. So that's what we are doing right there. And yeah, once that is being done, we should be able to see all the orders that we made. So I'm going to show you guys. So basically, go ahead and save this. Before we save that, I'm going to go ahead and restart our app, and then go ahead and save this. So there's a reason for that. Had it been we saved this while still on the order page, on the order success page, this will go ahead and create the shopping cart for us, which is not basically what we're looking for. Not shopping cart, is going to go ahead and create an order for us, which what we are not what we're looking for. So right now, let's do this again. So I'm going to go back in here, go to the shopping cart. Right now we have 1 item in the shopping cart. Guys, let's add that up. Let's add like at least 2 items in the shopping cart. Yeah, let's add at least 2 items in the shopping cart. Add this. What else? How many is here now? Okay, we have 3, so let's leave 3 there. So go to checkout, do whatever we need to do here. In this case, I'm going to say Kevin. Location is Dubai. Phone number is whatever should it be. Phone number should be any random stuff. Not my real number, guys, just a random number. Pick a date, time, and the card notes. You could decide actually to do that too. Card notes, just saying. I'm gonna just add that right there. So just saying. And the products, you can see that. Then with total bills, you can see that. Select the credit card. Also, right there. One more thing we can actually do is let's say, because if we actually go ahead and pay this will actually redirect us to the order sources page. To finish this up, I'm going to go ahead to go back to the checkout page, and I'm going to say when you are taking the user to the order sources page, which is what we are doing right here. I want you to pass some of your data to us. So passing the total price. Passing the total price, does that actually make any sense? No, we are not passing the total price. In this case, I'm going to scrap that and remove the total price. We don't want that to pass in. But basically, we want them to pass us the receiver name, which I'm pretty sure we did right here. So we have the name. Yeah. So I want this to pass us the name. I want it to pass us the location, which is this. Also want it to pass us the time, which is this. And I want it to pass us the notes, which is this. And also I want it to pass us the phone text, which is this. So we pass this, pass this, pass this, pass in this, pass this. What else are we not passing here? Is that all we need? So let's take a look. So let's get back to we are missing something here. Order sources page in there. So let's see. So we need the status. So we have coded it to be processing. Okay. We need the receiver name, which we are passing, address, which we are passing, phone number, we are passing, time at home, which we are passing, card notes, which we are passing, payment type, which we are passing, total price. Like I said, we will not be passing the total price at this moment. let's take a look at something. So I'm gonna say cart items. Yeah, usually cart item doesn't have a price. To get a total price of this particular order that we're making, so I'm hard coding that to be 0. So I also need to remove this parameter later on. That's what I'm hard coding into 0. It doesn't make any sense here because I've taken a look. There's no need for it. So right now we just pass these parameters over. Save this. So we need to be able to get access to these parameters. So from our order success page, how do we get access to it? I'm going to create something called props, and in here, when someone arrives on this page, I'm going to say constant the structure our props, which is equals to props.routes.params. Get the parameters from the routes, and right here the parameters is basically whatever we have in here. So I'm going to copy all this stuff over, and I'm going to destructure them right in here. Remember to remove any of this. So this is not needed, comma, this is not needed, comma, this is not needed with a comma, this is not needed with a comma, and lastly this is not needed but without a comma. So I'm gonna go ahead and structure this so look pretty nice, and then start using this everywhere. So this should be replaced with name, so it becomes name. Name will never be empty, so likewise is the location will never be empty, so we pass location here. Also our phone number will never be empty, so we pass our phone number right here. Time at home the same, will never be empty, we pass time. And last, the card notes might be empty, but in this case if it's empty, it's still passing an empty string, so we are going to use the empty string here. So I'm going to say notes on the payment type, which is interesting, we need that too, but we forgot to pass that along. So we need to pass the payment type the user selected, which in our case we already have it somewhere here. So that's called payment method, which could be payment.none, basically none, or payment. So we pass in payment method that the user selected. So let's go ahead and do that straight away. Payment method, yeah, passing the payment method that the user selected. I think I got that. That's correct. Yeah, that's correct. That's right. Save that, and then head over to the order success page. So right in here, what are we trying to do? So we get a hold of the payment method. It's called payment method. What's it called again? Yeah, we call it payment method. It's always good to actually know the spelling that you give to those stuff properties. So payment method, and I'm going to say payment method. Yeah. Let's take a look. Payment method dots character. Okay, yeah, let's pass that. I think that's it. So let's try this out. And we should be able to see save order and again deleted item in our console to be able to verify that yeah, this actually worked. So let's go ahead and call this pay, and we need to pass in the payment that we want. So the payment is already hard coded in here. So what we need to do is to pass in a fake debit card from Stripe, and then fake expiring date. So guys, don't actually try to use this. This is not a real card, so that your bank will not penalize you. So we have processing. So we're processing this. Yeah, done. So the user is actually is created, and if you take a look over here, So it says user model ID, model cat model, invalid field for our cat model. So this doesn't exist. Okay, so that's the yeah, so that's the error we are getting in our case. So let's try and fix that, because this didn't go through. I'm gonna remove this. So basically, let's gonna remove the predicates right now at the moment. I'll try this out. I'll save this. Head over to here. Tap on checkout. To edit, there's any jargon. Just tap any jargon there in. So it doesn't matter. Dubai. Phone number 971. Any random number, pick a time, just pick any random time, confirm, note, hello, whatever you think. Yeah, that's all. And select credit card or whatever, pay, and over here we need to pass in, paste that, and 11 23 523, and then we need to tap on the pay AED. So hopefully this worked this time around and no error, and that worked. Yeah, that worked. So we didn't get any error. So let's take a look. Let's take a closer look at this. So if you what's happened? Yeah. So if you scroll up, and you can see deleted cards being called, which is meaning that it's been deleted. Deleted card and saved order called here. Deleted card called here. Also with saved order. You can actually see that deleted card saved order. Deleted card saved order, and deleted card saved order. What else? Yeah, save order. So these have been called, and this is the number of times that the number of times of the items we have in our shopping cart, which is great. So right now we want to be able to show the user the orders they made when they tap on track my order. So we want to be able to show them the order they made. So to do that, what we need to do is that we need to list all the orders in the track order page here. So if the user taps on this, and right now we are currently showing them hard-coded orders right here, which is currently 1. But in our case right now, we need to be able to get all the orders a user made right now and show them in here. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go to checkout, not checkout, basically go to all orders, or we'll start with my order. Does that make any sense? Or basically start with all orders. Yeah, we just start with all orders because that's the first page we're seeing here. And inside the all orders, you can see we are passing something called order card, which is currently inside the scroll view, which is this. So if you go ahead and delete this order card, or in this case, let's comment it out to test something. You see it's no longer showing up there. That's because we had coded one particular item which we called order card. But right now we're going to do this dynamically. So let's see. So we have a scroll view, which inside there we have an order card. In this case, we still want to change that. So what do we change? Yeah. So I'm going to go over here, create a recoil value, which I'm going to get from user data model state. Once that, okay, let me copy the code over. So copy the code and paste it over here. So let's import recoil, which I'm going to explain what we're doing. So we are getting hold of our user data model, which you guys already know. But here we are trying to get all orders and basically the order state from our recoil to actually in our state management, which we're going to use all over our app. Well, in this case, this is not showing up because it's not recognizing other states, so we haven't created this. So I'm going to create this instead of creating it, but I'm going to copy it over because I've already done this previously. So I'm basically going to copy it over. So there we go. Head over to the states, and inside our states I'm going to scroll down. Here we go. So I'm over here. Let's start with over here. So I have something called other states, and is of type other item model. Remember when we created the other item model, guys? So it's going to be an array of this other item model, and we created another other filter state, which is basically the state of this tab navigation. Yeah, so it starts with all others, which is we're denoting here by saying all, and processing and cheat. So we are doing that using whatever we have in here. So over here we created another selector from record. If you are using record, there's something called selector. So basically selector is helping you to derive state from your state atoms. So we are deriving a state from there. So what we are going to do is to say select order, get hold of the other state, which is this, and also get hold of the filter state, which is this, and we're using a switch case to check the filter state. If the filter state is this, is actually all, then return all the others. Then if the filter state is processing, that means the user is currently in the processing screen. Basically return others where the status is equals to processing. If the filter state is basically shipped, you guys already know what we need to do. So basically return others where the status is basically equals to shipped, and if nothing at all, basically go ahead and return all others default. We could actually be able to remove this part and replace it with this part, but in this case we don't need to. We can just keep this part and actually pass in a default statement to our switch case. So we save that. So go ahead and save that. Yeah. What else? So right now I need to be able to put this out there in here. So I'm going to say export order state, export filter state, and export selected order state. So you save all these three and head over to the all orders, and then you can just import this order state. As is that been found, you see the error goes away. And next of what we need to do, I need to copy some code over. And we are going to paste it right here, and I'm going to explain what we are doing. So we're creating a subscription, and we're creating a use effect. We created a use effect, and we are creating a data store, and we're saying data store observe other item model subscribe to any changes that happens and notify us of that changes. And if you take a look over here, you can actually see doing our log statement. What happened? Yeah, doing our log statement right. Why is it not showing? I'm actually going to bring out the previous log statement. Yeah, if you look at this log statement, subscription updates, that's because we are listening to changes in other parts of the app. That's why we are getting this log showing up here. So in that case, so then we are doing cleanup. Remember your cleanup function in your use effect. So always try to clean up your use effect. In this case, so what this cleanup is doing is, let's say the user exits this page, or let's say the user entered this page immediately and exits immediately. We need to cancel any other asynchronous function or API call or any side effect that we are doing here. We don't need it anymore, to just discard it out. So that's what we are doing. Subscription or unsubscribe to also unsubscribe to any data that's coming in. We don't need it anymore. So that's basically what we are doing right in here. So let's see, unsubscribe, return the unsubscribe, and we're passing an empty dependency because we want this to run just once. And query orders, you could just actually know already determine what I'm doing. Getting access to all the orders in our remote or the local in our local data store, which is using async storage, I think, yeah, if I'm very sure. So we are getting hold of that, which is of type order item model, and we are passing a predicate. We are saying C, where buyer ID equals to the current user in our app. So we are getting all the orders that which the current user made, and we are passing it into this set orders, which is basically inside our require state set orders. And I can go ahead and uncomment this out. But not only that, so when I uncomment it, I'm going to copy it and then delete whatever is inside here, replace it with a flat list, which I'm still going to copy over. It's still the same stuff, just I remove the scroll view and replace it with a flat list. So you guys should notice it's still the same stuff. Flat list data will be all orders, and then we have render item, render order with this image. So right now we're just doing it with hard-coded image, but this should really be the image of the orders that the user is making. So we should actually be passing the image of that particular order in here. So but in our own case, we are just passing a hard-coded images right here. So for now, go ahead and save this, and you can see all the orders are coming up, showing up here. These are all the orders that the user made, and the reason why you are seeing so much orders here compared to what we actually made is because this is getting all the orders that I actually made through doing my testing of this functionality, building this app. Because like I said, this app is actually going to be used live. It's going to be used live with the real data from vendors within in Dubai. So that's my plan for it. So I'm working towards to that end goal, and I'm also trying to stream the whole stuff to you guys, so you guys can actually some for most of you who are trying to build something similar can actually watch it and be able to get the code from watching it and do the same if you want. Yeah, so you can actually see the orders being the user orders showing up right here, and these are all the orders that user made, and they are currently processing. Yeah, they are currently processing. But the funny thing that will happen right now, if you go ahead and tap on this processing, you only see one order. That's because we haven't actually changed it. So to do that, I'm going to head over to the processing orders. You can see that, you see what I said, that's because we actually not doing anything inside there. So processing orders, I'm going to copy the code. It's still basically the same stuff we did in all orders, nothing different. So replace this with flat list. I'm going to go ahead and import that, and then we need to be able to pass in all orders, which we are going to get from our record derived state, which we are using selector in this case. See, just add all missing imports, and there we go. One more thing, if you go ahead and save this, you see it still shows up. So right now we're having processing orders showing up right in here. See that, guys? That's cool. That's so cool. And then if you can actually tap over here and see all the orders. If you go over here, you can see the processing orders showing up. But right now, if you tap over here, shipped orders, nothing shows up. That's because we haven't actually fixed it. We haven't fixed it, so we still need to fix that. To fix that, I'm going to go straight to shipped orders right here. So there we have our shipped orders, and yeah, still going to do the same stuff we are doing here. Copy that, head over to the shipped orders page, I'll replace that with this. Go ahead and import all this stuff, and then copy whatever we have here to it, paste that, and do all the imports that we need to do, fix all those stuff, and there you go. You can actually see the order showing up, but this is actually tricky right now. Inside the shipped order, it's still showing us the processing order, which is not what we should be seeing here. In fact, we shouldn't be able to see any order right here, because there is no order that's already been shipped by the vendor. To fix that issue, what we need to do is to head over to our my order page. So this my order page, head over to the tab view. We need to do some changes to the tab view, which we are going to do right here. Whenever we are doing on press on any of these item tabs, when you press on it, we need to actually update our record to actually show the appropriate data for each of this page. I'm going to copy that over. I'm not going to repeat the whole stuff, so let's copy it over so you guys should actually see what I'm saying. So basically it's still the same stuff, just a little bit changes. So here is the changes. So whenever there's something change, it's called set filter, and this is just going to update our record state. And our record state, we need to bring it in. So bring in our record state right here, and there we go. So go ahead and import whatever we have right here, and that error is fixed. So if you go ahead and save this right now, and if you tap over here, you see it's been updated. Index is 0, so we are seeing this. Index is 1, processing, and index is 2, so that's basically shipped. So set shipped, we can't see anything here because there's no item that's actually been shipped at this moment. So that's why we are seeing the shipped page being empty, but the processing page is showing us data. The all other page is showing us data, but the shipped page is not showing us any data because there's no items that's already been shipped. So that's it. Another stuff you guys could notice that if you try to swipe this and swipe this, you see the shipped item, the shipped tab is still getting items shown to it. To fix that also, what we need to do is to copy this and actually use it in here. So I'm going to say on index change, set index, on index change, set index. This is how we do that in here. This is how you set index, and then we pass index. Go to name it I. Format, save. If you go over and then try to swipe, you see that works. Swipe back, swipe forward, and there's nothing to show up here. That's because our shipped items should be empty because there's no order that's already been marked shipped. Shipped items. So I think that's it for the orders page. I'm trying to see if there's anything that we are missing at this moment. So we completed the order success page, my orders page, which is this page we are seeing right here. My orders page, we completed that also. But we kind of need to test the shipped items. So let's go over to our back end, try and see if we can actually modify some of the data to be shipped. But it's not advisable to do that in real. And when the application is running in production, you don't need to actually modify the data by yourself, unless it's data that needs you to modify. So let's head over again. So there we go. Cart items is not empty. If you could remember, we have something here, but because we converted every single one of them to orders, so we cleared it out, so it's not empty. And if you go to other item, which we are having here, and there you go, you can actually see all the orders. We currently have 23 orders showing up right there. And so let's do some changes here. What I'm going to do right now is to I'm still thinking. Yeah, the processing. Okay, we need to change this to shipped. I think that's what we have in here. Let's be sure. Make sure it's the same spelling. So the best, just copy that and paste it in here. So I'm gonna call this to be shipped. Save orders. So we are modifying this. So let's modify the second one also. Save order. And also modify the third one. Save the order. And there we go. So if you go back to the app, we have here, you see, right now we have items added in the shipped part of the app. And you see this actually updated itself immediately without us doing any other stuff, so which is great. We didn't actually refresh the app, we didn't do anything to the app, the whole thing just updated. That's because we actually using what we call listeners, and basically in programming it's called PubSub. So PubSub or observable. So you're observing the states, or you're observing another class or objects to change or something like that. And the PubSub is basically a publisher and subscribing to changes to on an object. So you are subscribing to an object. When there's changes to that object, you just publish that changes to you, something like that. So yeah, that's basically what we are using here to get this to update without actually trying to refresh the app or do anything else to it. So yeah, it just update on the file on its own. So that's what we have. But the funny thing is that this is kind of having processing, so we need to change that to have so we need to change the wording. Yeah, it shouldn't be processing, and the wording should change. So we are passing inside the other card. Go to definition. In here we are in the definition, and what we need to change is this word called processing. What is it again? Yeah, order status. The order status is what we need to change. So the order status is what we need to change, but we need to pass it in here. Basically in here, I could say so order status, which is this. Post the title, and that's the place we are passing this. And we could get hold of data. Okay, so let's say we have the status, which is a string. Then over here we can structure this. I'm passing the status and replace this hard-coded string right here. This one we're using. So basically we'll just copy this and use this in here. So I'm gonna pass the status in here. Yeah, status. So go ahead and save this, but this is going to throw an error. Yeah, but we can see it, but you see the status test goes away, so we need to fix that. If you head over to the shipped order, once we are trying to iterate over this, we will need to pass a status over here, and the status is going to come from item dot status. There you go. If you save this right now, what was it? So status should be string null or undefined. So I'm gonna force what happened. So I'm gonna force unwrap this because I know it's not going to be null. So I'm going to force unwrap it. So save that. You see, the item becomes shipped. So when it's shipped, the color changes to this. And when it's processing, so we need to fix this one too. So I'm going to go to this processing side. Over here, passing the status, for this status, I'm going to say item dot status, first unwrap it, and if you save that, now it's processing, and you can see the color is different from when it's showing shipped. The color is gray, and again all others we're going to have some issues. So if you go to the all others, we still need to change that also, all others, since we are iterating through this. So I'm going to say status is equal to item dot status. There you go. But we need to first unwrap this, and if you go ahead and save that, and there you go. So you can actually see the status showing up for each of these. You can see this is shipped, and this is processing. See that they're all missing quite good. So yeah, I think that's it. Order ID, we still need to pass that also. So let's do some changes here. So the order ID, so order card, we should be able to change the order ID. So there we go, order ID. So we should have a parameter called here order ID. Get hold of that parameter here, call that order ID, and in here we pass in the order ID. There you go. Save that, and if you head over to, let's start with all orders. In this case, I'm going to have a param called order ID. I'm going to say item dot ID, not by ID but item dot ID, which are going to first unwrap, and also we have to pass a key in here, and I'm going to say the key should be item dot ID. That should be the key. There you go. And if you save this, you can see the order ID is now in the, you can see the order ID showing up perfectly good. So that's our order ID. And if I go ahead and copy this, copy those, and head over to processing orders. So inside the processing orders, I'm going to pass that in here. If you go ahead and save that, see the processing orders is also affected. Now it has order ID showing up, and the last place to add the changes will be shipped orders. Inside the shipped orders, we also add that. Now if you head over to the shipped orders, you see now it has order ID. So let's see what else we need to change. So items count, see this says 2 items, this says total $20. So we need to be able to fix the 2 items and the total, since we need both of them. So we need to find a way to be able to do that. In this case right here, I'm basically going to say in this case, so let's fix, first of all, let's fix the item counts, because that one is easy to fix. Inside our order card, should have over here, inside our order card, I'm going to say quantity, quantity, which is a number. We need to add that, so 2 items. We now use quantity, which I'm going to destruction and get access through here, quantity, and I'm going to pass it in here, quantity. If you go ahead and save this, and you can see the quantity is no longer showing up, so we need to fix that. So let's start with the all items. So all items should have a variable called quantity. Quantity should be equals to item dot quantity. There you go. And need to first unwrap this, and if you save that, now you can see the quantity of this item is 1, the quantity of this item is 1, the quantity of this item is 1. I think there are some items we have 2 quantities or 3 quantities, I don't know. Let's see. Okay, there's none. there's no item with two quantity with two items. So if you go to processing right now, you see the item is still empty. So let's fix this for processing, and then also shipped items or shipped orders. So processing orders, so let's go to the processing orders page, and I'm going to pass in the quantity also to be this, and like you see it's now 1 items for each of these items, so shipped orders. So I'm going to also pass the quantity to it, and there we go. So going to save this. I can see the quantity is reflecting. Next is basically we need to figure out how to pass the total, the total for each of these orders. What would the total be? And if you go over here, and say to fix this, so I'm going to say total price, start being a number, and the structure is in here. Get the total price, and use that to replace this what we have here. So this should say total price. So if we save this right now, every single one of them is now empty because we haven't passed them. So let's pass them to each respective order. So this should have a total price, which we are going to get from our orders. So this should say item dot total price, and force unwrap it. And if you save this, you can see each of them has a total price of 0, which is not what we're looking for. So 0, there's nothing like 0 for product, or except the product that has a coupon on it. But in our own case, we already know there's no coupon on the product, so the total shouldn't be 0. So let's fix that issue. But first of all, let's add all this total to processing also. Add out to processing card. And also do the same for shipped. And now the totals for every single one of them is now 0. Like I said, we need to fix this. And one way to fix this, the only place we can actually fix it, is to head over to checkout. So our checkout, here's our checkout. If you could remember, well, not it's under our success page, order success page. If you could remember, we are passing the total price to be 0, which is not good. So what do we do in this case? How do we actually fix this issue? One way to fix this issue is to do what I call constant item. I'm going to say item. What am I doing? Item price is equals to cut items at index of Flowery model. So there's nothing like Flowery model, but we need to bring in our Flowery model somehow into this equation, because we're trying to do some equation right now. I'm kidding, we're not doing any equation, but the Flowery model, in this case, so I'm trying to think, do some thinking. So if you head over to the shopping carts, so Flowery group states, we should have over here, and we're looping through it. So we looped through our Flowery group states. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, I got it. So we get hold of our Flowery group states, we should have here. Just copy that over. If you copy that over, go to other sources page and import that right at the top here. So Flowery group states, import this, and there are some changes we need to make. So I'm going to say Flowery group state. No, not Flowery group state. So Flowery group dot find. So we need to pass a predicate to it, find. So we're calling this f. Find where f could be anything, but in our case, f is a flower model, not anything. F is a flower model of type flower model, F the ID, so flowery group state is an array of flower models. So since it's an array of flower models, where cat item dot index of flower model, no, cat items dot index dot product ID, that's what we're looking at. Yeah, so object is possibly not, so we use that. So get hold of the price. Since we get hold of the price, right, and over here there's somewhere we are passing a quantity, quantity right there. So how do we calculate the price? So the way we are calculating the total price is basically quantity times price. Let's say the price is $20 and the user ordered three quantity of the quantity of the order, basically what am I even trying to say, three quantity, three quantity, let's keep it like that, three quantity of those orders, that's what the user ordered. To calculate the price, that's basically 3 times $20 will give us the total order. I think my math is correct. Yeah, my math is correct. Yeah, 3 times $20 will give us that. Yeah. So in that case, in that beautiful case, so what we need to do to calculate the total price is basically to say item price of that particular item that we are looking at the moment times the quantity, and you could basically do that right in here by just saying item price times quantity. So what's going on? Item price times quantity. I'm going to first unwrap this, and then quantity, which is probably no. To fix that error, I'm going to first unwrap it. So there we go. So item price times cat or quantity will give us the total price of that order of the user order. So if you go ahead and save this, if you save this right now and try to go back to do a new order, so let's try a new order so that I can actually get an order that has a price and not just $0 on it, because we're not doing a charity event right here. So in some cases we cannot try to do some charity event, but yeah, let's go over here. So I'm going to add this to the cart, head over here, add this to the cart, head over here, add this to the cart, and if you try to scroll now, don't need to scroll down. So we already have 3 items, 1, 2, 3 in the cart. So go to checkout, and inside the checkout try to change any of these. So I'm going to say Kelvin, Dubai, phone number 971, then any random numbers, like I said, that's not my phone number. Pick a time, card note, leave that empty, credit card, process, and try to pay. This comes up. So now we are going to use a fake payment. Basically a fake payment. So where did we actually get that again? Think we actually get it. Okay, yeah, there we go. So these are fake card payment. I'm going to copy that, then head over here, and you decide to pass the fake card payment right here. So I'm going to say fake expiring dates and fake CVC number, and then go ahead and say pay now, and the payment will be processing. And once that is done and you are taken to this page, and then we can have the rights to close all these windows that we have open, and now we can also have the right to go ahead and open our console that's still under here, and then we can have the right to look into it to see what's going on. So here we go. we need to be able to see these orders. I'm pretty sure these orders have been processed. But let's take a look. So if you check my order, track order, so it's confirmed that this should have a unique ID, which is true. Each of them should have a unique ID. I thought I already added a unique ID to each of every one of them, but let's check that out. So this has a key ID. Okay, some of them, yeah, now I see some of them doesn't have a unique ID. But one way to actually be able to fix that issue, I could say order comma index. Does that work? Can we get the index? Yeah, so index. So what I will need to do is to add that plus index. Okay, so this is a string and this is a number. So coding both of them together is definitely going to cause some issue. So what do we do? Plus, and I'm gonna say plus pass and so to pass the index in there as a key, and the error will go away from now, but we can find a way to concatenate, because what I'm trying to do is to concatenate the string, the name, the number, just pass the number to a string and then concatenate it with the string in there that's already existing. So yeah, that will actually form a unique ID for our product. But yeah, we are just replacing it with a index for now. So let's scroll down. Hopefully we can see our order with a price on it. Just going through, scroll, should be somewhere down. Yeah, I found one. So guys, yeah, you can see. So there's an order with a unique, not with a unique ID. This is an order with a total price. You can see the total price is 24, which is the total price of the order. But the issue right now is the total price is giving us a bigger decimal places, so we need to cap that off or round it off, and I'm going to round it to 2 decimal places. If you thereby save that, and then you can see that being affected. Now we have 24.21, 23.2, 24.1, and you could see the last one having 21.14. So yeah, so that's it. So you can actually see that's working, and each of them now has a total pay on them. So yeah, I think that was the part. So I don't know how many hours we spent here already on the stream. We spent almost 2 hours plus, guys. That's the biggest so far. Yeah, so yeah guys, we'll be stopping here for today, and let's continue this tomorrow. So basically tomorrow we'll be trying to work out the images part, trying to be able to get hold of the images, so we won't be using a hard-coded image right here anymore. And then we work on the reorder and track order path, and I think that should be it tomorrow. And basically do some other stuff like the work on the what's it called again, the profile section. So if you look at over here, so if you get to the profile section of the user, which is right here, you can see the stuff is still empty, so we need to actually to be able to fix this tomorrow. So yeah, that's it today for you guys. So one more thing, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe, tap on the subscription button, and I'll be waiting for you guys at 1,000 subscribers. So that's the mark for at least before the end of this month. So guys, try to help me get there. So I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of this month. So let's get that, guys. Yeah, thank you guys for joining, and if you enjoyed it, let me know on the comment section of this video, and let me know what you think. And also see you guys tomorrow same time. Yeah, hoping to be able to stream tomorrow same time. Yeah, definitely. should be. Yeah, that's it, guys. Have a nice day, everyone. See you guys tomorrow, and thank you. What else?